President Biden, he's back in isolation after he tested positive again. It was a rebound case, we hear. Joe Mancha's with us. I'm sorry, Joe Concha is with us. I almost call you Joe Manchin. That's a kind of a promotion there, Joe. I made you a senator just like that.
I thought Manchin was behind me. He has COVID too, I think, right? What's he doing in my house?
Really?
We get confused all the time.
Look, I know you do. We got an aging president here, and he's back in isolation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Joe Concha, but I don't think that's a very good look for the American presidency. What say you?
Well, we wish the president well, of course, right? And all indications, according to his doctor, he's doing fine. But, being in isolation isn't exactly a foreign concept to Mr. Biden, even when he doesn't have COVID, right? He seemingly works, 24/7. That's 24 hours a week, 7 months a year, Stu. But there's this impression, to answer your question now, of this president, and we see it in poll after poll after poll, that Joe Biden is not entering his 80s in a couple of months in a good way. You had this recent Harvard-Harris poll, for example, found that 62% of Americans believe that Joe Biden is, quote, showing he is too old to be president, unquote. When you break that down with voters that really help decide elections, independents, 72%, Stuart, 72% believe that he is showing he is too old to be president. And once you have that sort of perception, it's almost impossible to put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's impossible to reverse because he's only going to get older, and he wasn't very competent in the first place when he did have his fastball.
That's true. How do you reverse that feeling and that impact there? I'm sure you saw this, Joe. A group of Washington Post opinion writers ranked who they believe will be the Democrat nominee if President Biden doesn't run again in 2024. The list included Vice President Harris, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, California Governor Gavin Newsom. I don't think there's much of a bench strength in the Democrat Party, right?
Yeah, I try to look at what the bumper sticker would be for each of those candidates. All right, so for the Vice President Kamala Harris, I'll do for America what I did for the U.S. southern border. That's not really going to fly. Pete Buttigieg, I'll do for America what I did for the supply chain and getting on a commercial flight on time or not being canceled. Whoops, that's not going to work either. And then Gavin Newsom, I'll do for America what I did to California. In other words, I don't know what these folks will run on if we just look at their record. And you're right, the bench is very thin. And some folks also bring up Hillary Clinton, the 2016 Democratic nominee. But, she's over when it comes to running for president, whether when she lost to Barack Obama for the nomination or lost to Donald Trump, who had zero political experience in 2016. So, yeah, things not looking good for the Democrats right now. And if Joe Biden's the best option, well, when you're polling at 31%, Stuart, that ain't good either.
Do you have any names of any outsiders who might just chuck a hat into the ring and take the nomination at the last minute? Any ideas?
Well, you mentioned Joe Manchin before, and, he would be a decent choice because he could probably bring in some independents, although what he's doing with this latest Inflation Reduction Act bill and supporting that may hurt him. But overall, it's hard to find some folks. The Kentucky governor I find interesting, and Bashir, he's somewhat of a Democrat. Obviously, he's the governor of a red state, but he's not very well known. So, yeah, I don't know who really could step in here at this point. Sometimes we hear about Michelle Obama, but no, I don't see that being the greatest option either, and I don't think she wants the job anyway. So as of now, I don't know. But then again, if you asked me in 2014 who's going to be the Republican nominee, I don't think I would have said Donald Trump at that time, right? So that's where we are, Stu.
Yeah, we're up in the air. Joe Concha, thanks very much for being here, Joe. See you again real soon.